All right, what's going on, NBA fam? Welcome back to the Drama Zone. We're back with another one. We're talking about this today because Kenyon Martin is going after Skip Bayless, this former Gil's Arena co-host, who's got plenty to say about Russell Westbrook's retirement. We already know exactly how Skip feels about Russell Westbrook. Simply Westbrook, nothing else. That single word blew up online, and plenty of fans started feeling like they could say it to his face too. And earlier, we saw Swaggy P invite Russ to pull up, speak his mind, and join Gil's Arena. Now, I doubt Russell Westbrook is interested in doing anything like that. Not right now, at least. I think he's focused on spending time with his family. But maybe down the line, he steps into the podcast world in response. Maybe he even claps back at some of this criticism, because stepping into the media lets you shift the narrative and offer your own side instead of just letting these shock jocks control the story. But let's get into what Kenyon Martin actually said, because he made it clear he wished he could have confronted Skip face-to-face after Skip claimed Russ wouldn't make his personal Hall of Fame. Let's take a look.
Skip Bayless. Nah. Nope. At no point will I stand for any Russell Westbrook slander. I just watched your whole little spiel you did about Russ, and hard to get through. Hard to stomach and watch that. You said all that to say nothing, to say that you was a hater, which people already do that. You said you didn't see Russell Westbrook's talent earlier because you're not Sam Presti. You're not a GM. Not qualified to evaluate that kind of talent at that level. There's a reason he didn't start as a freshman. There's a reason he started as a sophomore and played better. Freshmen normally come in, don't play a lot early. Some do, some don't. But first ballot Hall of Famer. Luckily, you don't have a vote. So we see would be biased. But no Russell Westbrook slander will be tolerated. When I was at your former employer, Fox, and your former colleague and co-worker, Callan, tried to do the same thing. Didn't stand for it then, ain't gonna stand for it now. It's unfortunate that we're not in the same building anymore, because I would have loved to debate this in person. No Russell Westbrook slander will be tolerated. I wouldn't pay my money to see too many people play basketball, but I would pay to see Russ play because of how he approaches the game. You giving these backhanded compliments with your statements, you can keep it. There's nothing positive coming out of your message, Skip. So we're not gonna tolerate it. I'm not gonna tolerate it. That man played the game of basketball the way it should be played. Every night he stepped on the floor and has done things in this league that no one else will do. So to say that in your Hall of Fame he's not that, you don't get a vote. So mute point. And everybody doesn't need a platform to hate on people all the time, man. Like, it's okay to give flowers. It's okay to recognize greatness without giving backhanded compliments. Yeah, no Russell Westbrook slander will be tolerated. Have a good day, Mr. Bayless.
I'm with Kenyon Martin on this one. You don't need to pile on somebody, especially right when they're walking away from the game, right? You already clowned him enough throughout his whole career. You've said your piece on him, fair or not. This was his retirement moment, plain and simple. This wasn't the time to bring up how trash you thought he was, how turnover prone you thought he was, how you thought he couldn't shoot, or rehash the team hopping, the Lakers fallout, all of it. We can let that go because that chapter's closed. His playing days are finished. Now, when it's time to rank point guards and you want to say you prefer somebody else, fine. That's a conversation for another day. But in that moment, the man was hanging it up, y'all. Look, you don't have to be a fan of Russell Westbrook's game. You're allowed to feel exactly the way Skip feels. But do you have to say it out loud? unless you're chasing clout and just want eyeballs on you because this guy pushed back on you publicly and it clearly got under your skin that he actually clapped back. So now you're just going to keep hammering the point home. You can keep the backhanded compliments too, because at this point, you're probably the last person he wants praise from, given how often you came after him. And in my heart, when Matt Barnes mentioned that certain people wanted a shot at Skip during all that Shannon Sharpe drama, I believe it. I really believe Russell Westbrook was one of the guys he had to hold back, one of the names being floated when that was going down. It was pretty well known that Russell Westbrook wanted a piece of Skip. And Skip strikes me as one of those guys who says things almost hoping somebody swings at him. Sometimes he talks like a guy angling for a payday outside of journalism altogether, you know? Obviously, we know his journalism background, but some people dangle the bait just to see if you'll bite. And if you actually swing and connect on someone like Skip, he's already been counting your pockets the entire time. He wants that reaction out of you. He'll take a punch if it means a payday. So you can't let him bait you if you ever cross paths with him. You just have to let him talk. But there's a media tool sitting right there for you to use. I saw Swaggy P already put the invite out, but maybe Russ builds his own media company instead. Maybe he sits down for some interviews down the line. But he strikes me as the type who steps back from the spotlight for a while. Maybe he ends up coaching his AAU squad. Plenty of guys go that route after retiring. Look at David West. Look at Chris Paul. Out there year-round, not just in the summer. They're locked in with these kids all season long. They stay accessible. So maybe that's how Russell Westbrook gives back to the game. But if you're covering the game and covering these stars, you should also want them treated with respect. This exact culture of coverage is why we saw that kid at Cam Newton's camp talk to him the way he did. That kid never played a single down in college. He was posting videos not too long ago, never suited up in college either. And he's out here saying Cam is washed. That's just a lazy narrative, because as you age, you have to reinvent yourself to keep your spot. You have to earn your keep as a veteran presence on an NFL roster. You're not going to be a star forever. So honestly, staying on rosters late in your career deserves credit, not criticism. I'm just using that to make a point. People keep saying Russ is washed. Russ was still putting up 18, 20-point nights well past his prime on teams that weren't even built around him, proving he could still stand out anywhere. So take from that he actually adapted, because guys who can't adapt don't bounce around to as many teams as Russ did. Landing regular rotation minutes across that many teams after OKC just doesn't happen unless you're willing to adjust your game. You might not see it show up in championship banners, but there's real adaptation happening when the ball's not in your hands as much, and you're still earning opportunities. So that's my take on it. Let me know what you think down in the comments. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, peace.